Welcome. Today we are in the second episode in our series on the KBO Breeze. We're going to take a little bit closer look at the componentry and what have you. Hi, I'm Arnie and you're watching E-Bike Trippin'. If you're into e-bikes, make sure to click that subscribe button and then click the bell icon so you won't miss anything. And then check the show notes down below for even more details. The KBO Breeze is a beautiful bike. That orange color, of course I understand not everybody likes bright, bold colors, but it really is an attractive color. Metal flake, I've talked about that before. And it extends not just to the frame, but to the rack and to the fenders. That's really quite unusual at a bike in this price range. Currently, the KBO Breeze runs $13.99 USD, and it's hard to beat that price with the fit, the color, the accessory, well, I shouldn't call it accessories, but the things that would oftentimes be called accessories already in with the bike. So it's really quite a value in my opinion. So let's take a look at this bike. We'll start at the front and work our way to the back and show you what it has. And I think by the time we're done, you're going to agree that this is quite a good value. Starting from the front, the tires are Pan-Eraser tires. These are puncture resistant, 27.5 by 2.4. Nice, wide, beefy tire. Certainly not a fat tire by any stretch of the imagination, but they do offer a nice, cushy ride. And one of the things about having a wheel this large, this 27.5-inch wheel, is that it has this lower attack angle. So when you do hit road imperfections, it tends to smooth them out more than if you're riding a smaller diameter wheel. The wheel is called a Mondial. I'm not exactly sure what that is. Probably Chinese, I'm guessing. Notice the front forks. They're aluminum and they are shock absorbing with a full 80 millimeters of travel. And again, keep in mind that this is not a trail bike, so that's really quite a lot of travel, and it makes for a nice, comfortable ride. It has lockout, and you can adjust it with a preload as well for your weight. Very, very nice. Look at those fenders. I'll probably mention this multiple times. Great, great color, and might be able to see that metallic paint in there. And I don't remember if I've mentioned it, but these are not plastic fenders. These are metal fenders. So they really are very, very rigid. Now, one of the things I will bring up, and that I've heard from others, is that the fit is very, very close, and others have had difficulty with rubbing. I haven't experienced that yet. Let me throw that in there. But I also know that KBO is coming up with a solution I don't know exactly what that's going to be, but they have announced that, so keep an eye out for that. Notice up front that we have a headlight and a tail light, and those are standard. Don't have to go out and buy them. That's one of the things I really like about this bike a lot, is that, at, again, $13.99, you don't have to go out and buy additional things. You don't have to go out and buy lights. You don't have to go out and buy the rear rack. It's all part of the kit. So that's very, very sweet. You'll notice that the handlebars, let's move up here, the handlebars are well raised, and they do have just a little bit of sweep to the back, making it very comfortable. Ooh, you can see where my wife had a little accident the other day. We're going to talk about that as part of this. So again, you can see that rise makes for a very comfortable ride. It's a pretty relaxed. This is not a cruiser style, but it is relaxed. It's very upright riding position. Something that a lot of people are going to enjoy, particularly if you haven't ridden a bike in a long time. You don't want to be hunched over. And this provides very, very quality riding experience. Coming back, still staying up top here, look at the KBO branded saddle. And you'll notice the little hand grip here. This is particularly a good little addition. I don't know what other word to put there, but if you're trying to lift this up onto a rack on the back of your car or what have you, this is a really handy thing to have. I love that. Very nice. Notice the swooping top tube. It's certainly wouldn't call that a low step, but that's going to be an easy step over for most people. Certainly for me, it's an easy step over. As I've mentioned in previous videos, I'm 6'8", and so that's quite an easy step over for me. Speaking of that, KBO says that this bike, it only comes in the one frame size. They say it's suitable for people who are 5'4" to 6'4". So that's really quite a range. As I mentioned, 6'8", my height. Bike is a little bit tight for me. Still, rideable, but it's not the most comfortable. As long as we're here, we'll get back to the handlebars and everything. As long as we're here, you'll notice the controller behind the seat tube. It's a pretty common mounting position. And the 48 volt, 16 amp battery. And I love that it's semi-enclosed. We'll take a look at the other side in just a second. It's very, very easy to remove as well. At the top here, the USB port, and so that'll allow you to charge your phone if you have, or other device very easily. That's a nice little added feature. Notice that the pedals are a standard Well-Go pedal. They're pretty common on bicycles. Metal pedals with reflectors, little studs on the top here, and they're perfectly acceptable pedals. Notice also that the chain and the chain ring are covered. They have a protective cover on it, so that's really nice. The derailleur is a 7-speed Shimano Altus derailleur. And on the Shimano chart, that's towards the bottom, but it's perfectly sound derailleur system. It gets the job done. Notice the rear hub motor. It's 500 watt nominal, and it peaks at 800, so a lot of power. Okay, there's that fender and the rear rack, which, as I've mentioned before, comes with the bicycle. They call it an extra gift, but I think it's just super no matter what. And notice how the great color again. It's part of it matches the frame, so it's just perfect. Let's go back to the handlebars. You'll notice that the stem has risers in it, so it's somewhat adjustable. The stem itself is not adjustable. These grips are a faux leather. They're stitched, and they do have this ergonomic design, so they are pretty comfortable. They are not locking, however. That's a little bit of a bummer. And there's no end caps here, so if you wanted to put mirrors out here, you're going to have to cut this. Notice the throttle is a grip throttle, not a thumb throttle. The shifter is, as I mentioned before, Shimano 7-speed, and it does have the throttle kill built into it. So when you're pressing the brake, it turns off the motor. You'll see our controller, which we'll talk about just a little bit more as we go along. Now that we're on the other side of the bike, take a look here and you'll notice the brakes. The brakes are 180 millimeter rotors. They're Tektro Aries disc brakes. They're fine, fine brakes. They get the job done. And as I mentioned earlier, removing the battery is really made simple because they have this little, don't have the key, so and it's a two-handed operation because you have to turn the lock at the same time, but it comes out so easily. This little lever allows the battery to slide out to the side. Notice how it's semi-built into the frame. I like that a lot rather than having the big bulky battery. It looks cleaner, and it just, I don't know. Everybody's got a personal preference. I think this is a great way to go. Notice the bottle cage boss up here, and I took it off. I had it on earlier. I took it off because when I tried to put the bike on my bike rack a couple of days ago on my car, I couldn't do it because the arm came down and hit that, so I had to take that off. You know, it's nice that they included it, but if you're short, this bottle cage here, if you step off the saddle, this, may not be the most comfortable thing in the world. Before I end here, let's take a look here at the controller. Turn that on. Notice battery level, the speed, what the power is, how many miles, well, I shouldn't say that, how many kilometers you've gone, and you can't change that. It's really, really odd. I don't understand that. And if you hit the mode, it changes to max speed mode again. I'm not sure what that is. Interesting. Time, variety of different things, some of them which I haven't read the manual well enough to know. So all the basic information, the buttons here to bump up your assist level, your pedal assist level. Well, folks, that is the extent of our look at the KBO Breeze, a bike that I think anybody would be proud to own. It's just a great, great bike. I've had fun riding it, and in episode 3, I'm going to share some of that with you. Hopefully we'll get out of this garage. It is a sunny day, but boy, it is just cold out there. Let me put it that way. Okay. If you like this, and if you want to catch up on the next episode, make sure that you subscribe and click that bell. And by the way, check in the cards up above if you want to go back and see the unboxing and the construction assembly of the KBO Breeze in the previous. So thanks for stopping by. We do appreciate it. Leave any comments down below. Always appreciated. Thanks a lot.